had a mother. My mother is late at this point. I actually lost my mother at the age of 17. And of course, that's a very tender age to actually lose a mother. There were times where I would say to myself, but why? Why would God allow something like that? Because whenever these things happen to us, these painful challenges happen to us, we normally ask God why. But then if it doesn't happen to you, who does it have to happen to then? Because all of us, our path was created long before. So I'm not going to look at your life and be like, okay, but how come she's got two parents? And here I am at this point, and I need this mother at this age. But I didn't see it at the time. I remember how angry I was. I think for almost a year, I just didn't want to pray. So angry at God that how do you remove the very core and the strength in my life? I got to actually find my answers later on, when things started to happen in life. When I was actually, somehow placed in positions where I had to make decisions as a child. And you talked about getting married at a very young age. You're like 23. Honey, at 23. I got married going 19.
Oh, wow.
Now, I cannot say I was too young. That was my path. If God allowed it, then it means it was meant to happen. We can never say there was a mistake. There are no mistakes, but it's only lessons. Things would happen all the time. Well, I'm Christian too, because I believe there's a God. So things would happen all the time with the children of Israel, right? I mean, they would keep on doing wrong. Then you come back again and be like, God, we ask for forgiveness, and again, so that's just how life is. We're going to make decisions at some point that, we might end up regretting, but it's because of these initiatives that, we speak out. You are able to warn somebody else before they even get to that. Sometimes you are able to actually help someone that's in the same situation you were before, but they are able to, get a bit of clarity and they can make up their minds. So I'll be talking about relationships today. When Balisa said to me, you'll be talking about relationships, I'm like, yeah, that's good. It's a good thing that we all have topics and themes, because then I'd be all over the place. And I mean, an hour wouldn't be enough. You see what I mean? So I'm just happy with that. First of all, the types of relationships. This is according to me, because it's a lived experience. I can never talk about your life, but I can only, narrate the story the way that I've lived it. So according to me, the types of relationships, firstly with God, that is the first one in the foundation that I believe all of us should have. And then there is romantic relationships. I got married also at a young age. I didn't know, I don't think I had a clue what I was getting myself into also. But I had made the decision and I had said to myself, I'll walk that walk. I've already made the decision, so you know what, I'll see what comes. And gosh, things came, First of all, I think the biggest mistake that we made, that I made, let me talk about myself. The biggest mistake that I made was to love somebody that I didn't like. This, I'll repeat it again. Let me say, I loved someone I didn't like. Now, there was no time to actually date the person. There was no time to find out what makes them angry, what makes them tick. I got to discover the person while I was still in the marriage. I'm already in, and now I'm starting to find out these things like, oh my gosh, I don't even like this, So I would take that as somehow validation of how love can actually break boundaries. You are capable of loving somebody you do not like, because love is more powerful than the ideal persons and the boxes that we tick whenever we look for someone. So love goes beyond that. You can love children that are homeless because you are doing something with love. But are you in love enough to be married to the person? We never get to think of that. like Palisa said, you know what, you fall in love and then you can't hear anything else. Well, I had nobody telling me what to do. You know, I had nobody coming into my defense in anything. So I was raised in a home where I had never heard my mother shout at my stepdad. It was a home full of love. I had never, not even one argument. Of course, I was in boarding school, but I would come back, everything would still be in peace. So I realize now that as parents, we tend to protect our children from not seeing what's happening. You know, we sugarcoat things just so they are not directly affected. So I didn't know what abuse was, in such a way that when I was abused, I didn't know what it was. I would think, okay, all right, it's because maybe I answered his phone and he doesn't like that. So probably, yeah, I do deserve a clap. You know, it's because I asked a certain question and now I'm being yelled at and then beaten up suddenly. I would blame it on myself instead of just, I didn't know what it was. Instead of coming into my defense, but I don't deserve this. It doesn't matter what I've done, but you will not put your hands on me. You will not beat me up. You will not speak to me that way. And all of that made me realize that I didn't have a relationship with my first from the beginning. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I stood for. I didn't know what I deserved and what I was worth. And so now God will take you through these twists and turns in order to teach you. And so even, it doesn't matter how painful it is, but there's lessons in between there. You get to learn that, but you know what? I didn't know that the world could be this ugly. Like there were people who ruthlessly can actually attack somebody that's defenseless. That's where it comes to the society we live in. You spoke about how society will judge you, how society would actually have an opinion about a life that they don't even live. Mm-hmm. So we need to actually drop this this tendency of giving society power over our lives. Somebody that's sitting out there and on their Instagram and saying whatever it is they're saying, they're not living your life. At the end of the day, you're the one who has to come back and face this person that you're with. And now you are afraid to leave because you are afraid of what people are going to say. She's only been married for 5 years. Why is she leaving now? You know, but no, her life looks perfect. My life looked very perfect. I had everything physically that you would look at and say, but oh, she's got a good life. But now, people are not there to see what goes on inside the house. And now, another thing, being married to someone that's well known, you are actually against everybody. It's your word against his. If I came out and said, you know what, I was actually abused all of this time, people say like, oh no gosh, such a nice person to us and all of that. No, she's lying. You know, and all of that. Now, that's the very same society that preaches women to speak out. Yet when you do speak out, you're being attacked for speaking out. So now if you're going to put your life and on hold, and just because you fear what society is going to say, you're not going to leave, you know, up to your greatest potential. Because I told myself, I said, you know what, I'm not just here to wake up, eat, you know, go work, hustle, and come back, sleep, and then pay bills at the end of the month and all that. There has to be a reason why God placed me on this earth. I had to really tell myself that I don't even care what happens. I am choosing myself. I am getting out of this. I got out of that, and that was the beginning of my journey. It was the beginning of Thandeka really discovering what I stand for, who I really am in everywhere, who I really am in the Lord, who I really am in the society and community, who I really am in business. The things that I love. You know, it gets really, really lonely when you've been with someone. I mean, it was 14 years. It gets really, really lonely. But now I ask myself, I said, okay, that's why you actually find people who actually leave relationships only to go back again after a year, because they cannot adjust to being alone. But I remembered and I said to myself, but I've actually been alone during that time of my marriage. That is something nobody would ever understand. They would say, oh no, you've got a husband, you've got someone. But they don't know that those were actually the loneliest times of my life. Because then I cannot speak to people. I couldn't speak out and tell people that, you know what, I'm not sure if this is supposed to be this way, but I don't think I want this. You know, I'm not sure if, is it me who's not doing something right? So now, if you don't know what you stand for, you end up, adjusting and bending yourself just so you suit that particular person and the way they live and how you should be when you are with them. That is when you actually lose the very core of who you are. So now, for my sisters that I care who still want to get married, I would say, date yourself. Date yourself first. Find out what it is that pleases you. Find out what it is that you wouldn't want somebody to do to you, instead of just jumping into a relationship without even knowing what you stand for. Today, women they don't even have a voice in your house. The husband's gonna tell you, I earn more than you. So you are going to keep quiet because I run the show here. I buy groceries, I pay for the kids' school fees. You don't do that, you don't do that. So women feel confined into, some little ball where they've got no word and you've got no say, basically. Because you're just staying because, oh no, you know what? He's actually sustaining and giving me the lifestyle. No, it's definitely not worth it. So that's the kind of relationship I'm talking about. When we're taking romantic relationships, we need to choose wisely. We need to be able to choose wisely. You'd rather be single than, being afraid of being lonely. You just want to be in a relationship. Take that time and be single. And just, mingle with yourself a little. It would get so lonely sometimes. I'd just watch a movie and then get a glass of wine. I'd have my candlelight there, yeah. I actually just started dating myself, watch these movies, and actually put myself in the other woman's shoes. And try and I felt that I had actually sugar-coated and confined so many of my emotions because I wanted to be that perfect woman next to somebody. What I've realized is that every man that you meet right now was raised by a woman, whether gogo or mama, but they were raised by a woman. So we are also women. Let's raise our kids with love. Give them that love. That way when they grow up, they're able to give that to someone. So now if a child hasn't been given love, a woman can actually create a monster. That's going to be a problem for someone who wasn't there when they grew up. And so I was so angry, I would look at the person and say, but I don't get this. I don't understand. Where is the core of the problem here? What went wrong here? But now we realize that we didn't grow up the same way. We are not all showered and given the love. Because love is not just about being able to buy you something, but love is just teaching your child to be able to be a giver of love before they even expect it. So I got into it loving, giving what I was giving. And now if you are going to abuse your child right now, you are actually creating a monster that's going to abuse another person who wasn't even there. It's not even their fault. So as mothers, we've got it all here. It's how we shape and mold our children that's going to create a better future, better marriages. It cannot change, and it's not going to change until mothers start grooming their children through love. And now, if someone has been raised on survival, honey, they will be surviving through that marriage. That's what they know. It's survival to them. It's making it for another day. But how about making that home a warm home that's full of love? No. If you've never received that, you've never had that before, you won't know how to give it. How am I supposed to know what love is when I wasn't raised with love myself? So I ended up having to forgive a person and people, even though they never asked for forgiveness. Now, for me, when I started to go through that process of forgiving someone that doesn't even acknowledge something, that they did something, someone that thinks they made you, someone that thinks without them you wouldn't have gotten that, it's a very difficult thing to do. So it took a process after, I've gone through all the anger and the hatred, and I've gone through, all the crying and pain and loneliness, You know, I came to that point where I said, but you know, without forgiveness, it's just baseless. Now, do I expect an apology? Do I expect somebody to come back and apologize for what they've done to me? I can't do that, because then I'll wait forever. And now my healing process stops because I'm waiting for an individual to come back and realize what they've done. No, but I have to say, I know what they've done. I was there, I lived it. And now I will forgive them for what they've done. That way I can actually forgive myself, because I was also angry at myself. I said, I know that I'm smart. You know, I'm intelligent, I'm feisty. Why would I even stay in something like that? And then I said to myself, it was right on my path. God placed it there. I know that God placed it there because in my own mind, if it was my own thinking, I wouldn't have done that. And now, when God removed my mother a year before, I actually got married. My mother wouldn't have allowed that. My mother would have just said, no, you're carrying on with college. You're too young, you're not going to do this. But sometimes God removes the people that are going to interfere with His plan. No matter how painful it is, but God will remove that person for a reason.
Amen.
You see what I mean? Now I get it now. It's now that I get to understand, because I've had time to be on my own. I had time to actually listen to what my spirit says. I had time to nurture it. That way I'm able to get the messages in everything that has happened in my life. No matter how painful that marriage was, but it was also an incubation for me. I was protected by God in it. Because who knows what could have happened with me at that time? Who knows? I could have had a child there, and a child there, and a child there, and then that's it. You know? I don't know what could have happened, but I know that through that journey, I had to go through it. I came out, I can live today and actually tell the story. That means God was there. He protected me along the way. Everything that I had said, Parisa was saying, you know, you worry about little things. I have seen so much that I am not even stressing about anything. I am not even worried about who is going to do what. I'm like, just bring it on. I think I've seen it all. You know? And if it's bigger than me, you know, if it's a bigger challenge, I know I'll get through it again. Just like I did all of those times. So I'm just fearless. I'm not scared of anything. I even told myself, I said, the next guy that's coming would actually have to come already wearing their crown. Because I am not going to work in raising a boy into a man. I am not going to do that again. It's not my duty. I am not your mother. I promise you, he has to come fully equipped. Because I am not going to do that again. It's lessons. When you've learned your lesson, you're not going to put yourself in the same situation again. I refuse. I refuse. As mothers, let's raise our kids so that they are complete, so that the other partners, you know, the people they meet later in life, don't have to do your work.
Sure.
Do you see the importance of being a woman in this society? We raise children that are going to be a community one day. And what we've instilled in them, it's exactly what they're going to be. And so he has to come wearing his own crown. Because I'm wearing my own crown right now. I've had time to know what it is I want in life. And so I am not going to settle, because I know exactly what I want. They tell you all the time, you're not going to get everything you want. Well, then you're just taking what you don't want, I guess. You get that? They talk about, you need to compromise. You know, I am not doing that again. You know, I am not doing that. He has to do the work and be complete and then come meet me. I cannot be there saying, no, it's fine, the other stuff, the other cracks, I'll just fill. I'm not going to do that anymore. So I'm also raising a son. I've got a daughter and a son. He is, I don't know, I tell him all the time, I say to him, you know, the woman that's going to marry you goodness, has to really be the luckiest woman. Because of what he has seen. Kids do see what happens in a marriage. You're busy holding on because you're afraid what the church is going to say, your family is going to say. The children are watching. And they are mimicking whatever is happening there. Kids actually see more than we do. It's only after the marriage when we got to be just the three of us that some of the things they told me, I didn't even realize they happened. You see what I mean? Kids will see things that you do not see because the children looking from that innocent eye and picking up everything, while we as adults, we overlook things. You're like, no, it was just a clap and an argument, so we are good, you know? But kids notice. I said, do you remember this? Do you remember that? And my son says, I don't want to be that. I can never be that. Your kids will see how unhappy you are. So the longer you stay, you're saying to them, it's okay. This is how you're supposed to be treated. And now we don't understand. You're like, oh no, you know, if then, what happens then? What happens with me if I leave and then what happens? People are so afraid of starting over because they are afraid to admit that they failed in something. And so, just because you failed, it doesn't mean that you're worthless. You know, it doesn't mean that you're smart enough. In fact, failure is exactly what you need in your life for you to, you know, reboot, restructure, and plan accordingly. Because you can never repeat that. You know, a mistake is a mistake because we're all human. But a repeated mistake, then you're just doing an injustice to yourself. So people will say, how come you're still single now? It's because I'm choosing to be single at this point. You know? And not that I'm not praying. Instead I'm like, God, you have to give me a man that I've prayed for this time. I think I've learned all my lessons. You know, and the one that's coming, just send me a king. Because I'll definitely be that queen. Because you know what you bring on the table. I know what I bring on the table. So I have to know what it is you're bringing here. It doesn't have to be monetary. A beautiful mind, a beautiful heart. That's what people don't understand, that it's not even about how the person looks, but it's falling in love with the spirit of that person that's going to give you that lasting relationship. But now if you are just, oh my gosh, like cut from different cloths, it's not going to be easy for the both of you to gel. And I'm not about to say, okay, now it's fine, I'll hold your hand, let's go for therapy. No. You have to. In fact, if somebody says, you have to walk with me, no. Even if you can have a group of people around you, they are not walking for you. You still have to walk for yourself. We can be there on the side just for support. At the end of the day, you walk. It's your own steps. And we might be in the same boat, but you know, our paths are just, you know, going in different directions. So I cannot look at your life and be like, but my life is supposed to be where she is now. I'm also supposed to be owning this and that. I'm supposed to be that. No. It's about going back and tracing your footprints and finding out what it is God has placed on your path for you to do, your sole purpose. I cannot come here and stand here and be like, oh my goodness, you know what? Oh my gosh, these speakers. Oh my gosh, she said this. How am I going to put this? But I know that we are all gifted differently. I know that I'm a storyteller. I will come and tell my story and share my experiences and lessons. And then Utandi, on the other hand, will come and motivate. You see what I mean? And then Muslim will come and just give it to you straight like that, fearlessly. So it's different characters because we are all given different assignments. It can never be the same. And so that's what we need to understand. As women, we cannot pull each other down. I don't get it when women actually pull each other down, when women judge each other so much, when society on its own judges us so much. Untandi spoke about how they would tell you, oh no, you're very thin. You are this, you don't think. I've been told that too. So many times I've been told, you think you're beautiful. You know, you think you're beautiful. There's beautiful people out there. That kills your self-esteem. You start comparing yourself to others and saying, yeah, maybe I should actually wear long weave. You know, maybe I'll be more attractive, maybe I'll be more this. But it's about loving yourself enough that you don't need anyone else to validate that you're worth it. If I love myself enough and I'm rooted in who I am, you know, Mosley said, if you don't stand for anything, you will fall for everything. That's what will happen if you haven't found what you stand for. You know, when people go green, you'll also go green. And then the yellow tomorrow, you go with that also. But if they go green, you're like, no, I remain red. It's who I am. I don't care whether you believe it or not. Plus, with society, people think they've got an opinion over your life all the time. But now, why do we give them so much power? By succumbing to that kind of pressure on how I'm supposed to look. You know, on how I'm supposed to present myself. No, I'm rooted in who I am. I know what I am. My light shines just like, you know, every star in the sky. It's thousands and millions of them, but they all shine. And what matters is that we do not dim each other's shine. We do not dim each other's lights as women. If I know that I can actually help a fellow sister because I'm running a conference and events business, by the way. So I know that, you know what, she's a coordinator. You know, if I've got an event, why don't I invite her in? Because I'm actually pulling her up because one day it's going to be her that I need. You know, we seem to think that when you're right at the top and things are happening for you, it's going to stay like that forever. But what counts is the relationships that you make and create while you are still right there. Because as you move up, you are able to actually get everybody up with you. It's supposed to make a difference. If you're my friend, we can't just be friends. You know, what am I adding into your life? We can't just be hanging out. We need to be doing something. You need to see the difference of having me as a friend in your life. It shouldn't be about, oh, well, you know, I'm hanging out with her because she's cool. You know, so I can be one of the cool ones. You understand? But then what have you added? Have you made a difference in my life for me, such that I would actually say, we are friends, and vice versa? And so it's that kind of life that people would look at me like, but you know, she's just in her shell. You know, she's this, she's that. Yes, I cannot be like you, you know? I cannot be as vibrant. I am vibrant in my own way. So I execute it and deliver it differently from you, you know? And so people would always want to say, no, that guy is just too quiet, that one. Too much. There is nothing about, what can I say? There is nothing like being too mature. What grows you is what you go through. So people who will be like, no, oh goodness, she's acting way too old for her age. Those people haven't actually lived. They haven't walked in your shoes. They don't understand that you came to be this person that you are today. What have you gone through? Which is why we need to be sharing our stories all the time. You know? So that's the relationship. I'm going to actually be brief. That's the relationship I was talking about, the romantic relationships. Those are the ones that take longer because we all need love. You know, at some point, there is a time where you just want to be loved also. But it shouldn't be because you've got a void for love. Then it's not going to be worth it. You know, just pour into your own cup first. And when it's fuller, you'll be able to pour into someone else's. I cannot pour. It's like putting a half tank on you know, at a gas station and then expect to drive to Durban. I will not get there. Even if I do get there, I'll get there in the most difficult way because then I would have to add in more petrol and all of that, you know? So pour into your own cup. When it's fuller, then you can pour into someone else's. And that person needs to bring a full cup too. Because pouring into an empty cup, you're going to fill their cup while no one is filling up yours. That's why I'm saying he has to come ready. He has to come fully equipped. You cannot start over again. And if that cup comes with cracks, I am not taking it. Because I can never fix what I didn't break. I cannot. It wasn't broken by me. Then I cannot fix it. And now when we raise broken children, they're going to be broken for people that do not deserve that brokenness. They're going to take that brokenness and break the other people. And now we need to try, at this point, at a young age, raise our kids to be full. They'll have mistakes, yes, but there's a difference between a broken person and someone that's just being human. They will make mistakes, but someone that's broken is going to leave you broken. And now you'll be left alone trying to pick up the pieces, getting yourself together again. That's why you find a whole lot of women. I actually work with a whole lot of abused women and children, you know, the shelters there. There's women there who are like, I lost my mind. There's women who are sitting at mental institutions as we speak because of someone. Because they couldn't choose themselves in the whole situation and say, enough, that's it. You know? So nobody is worth, you know, losing your mind over. Nobody is worth losing your life over. And so we need to preach this. We need to be vocal. If it doesn't serve me, you live it. Because if we are in a relationship, we need to be serving each other. There is no one above. You serve me and respect me, I'll serve you and respect you. But it cannot be demanded. You know, you can never be a taker. You have to go in there and be a giver. So now what do you give when you don't have? All you're going to do, you're just going to take from the other person. Leave them empty and broken. And that's something that I don't think any young boy at this point would want to be remembered by that. And so it's up to us as mothers and future mothers, whether the father is there or not, to give that child love, that they also love themselves enough, that they are a full cup that's going to pour again in the future. All right. Let me see. All right, friendships, which are relationships also, that falls under society and family, which I've already touched on. And then there is also this relationship with society, like I've touched on that, you know, society is unstable. They are hot and cold. So if that's what you're gonna listen to, then you're also gonna be hot and cold. You're not gonna find that temperature that suits you and that momentum for yourself. Because one day you think you're picking up, and then the next day society changes their mind and you're like, okay, I'm probably wrong now. Maybe I should drop this and not pursue this. The longest job I kept was 6 months. And that was it. I had never worked for anyone ever in my life. When Tandy stood here and she was delivering this, I'm like, oh my gosh, she's telling my story. That business acumen was too strong, you know? And you said that you wanted to make the rules. I wanted to make the rules, and it wasn't even my own company. So I was very troublesome as an employee. You know, I don't think I have good references. Because I would talk back. Yeah. You know, I'd be like, I understand this is what we want, but I think, well, who am I to even think I have a say in how you should run your own company? You know? And so, but when it came to that point where I said, that's it, I'm done. I said, if I'm going to make money for them, and I see how much of value I am, and I don't feel valued, why don't I put all of that energy, register my company, you know, start and see what would happen. It's a scary step, you know, it's a scary move because you don't know what's coming. At some point I was like, you know what, that little 5 months I stayed, I should have just, you know, continued because now, it's not going so good. But it's all about perseverance. If you've got that dream, if you've got that goal, you pursue that and go with that, you know. So lastly, but not least, the relationship with self, which is the most important, because before I can be productive outside, I need to be productive within me. So it's all about doing the work, having that good relationship with yourself. If I'm good to myself, then I'm going to be a good friend. I'm going to make a good business partner because I am good. I'm complete and good with myself. So I can never expect somebody to just say, no, it's fine. She doesn't have this, so we're just going to put that. I know what needs to be done. If a certain qualification is needed for that, let me go for that because I know where I want to go. And then lastly, I think I've actually said most of the things without even reading this, you know. All right, my final closing is love yourself and really, really love yourself enough that you do not need anyone to validate your self-worth. We are all beautiful, you know. We are all beautiful. We are all shaped differently, and that should actually really be a beautiful thing that we are not the same. Imagine a million Thandis, you know.
Boring.
Imagine that in this world. We need personality. You know, we need different kinds of colors. You know, and we can never try and try to fit in. Like, okay, I see this circle, no, I just want to fit into them. No. I need to know what it is I want. I need to know what it is I stand for, you know, so that I can come in, be a different flower too. Look how beautiful we are. It's all different. It's different shades, you know, everything. And that's what makes us all beautiful as women together. So it needs to stop. We need to stop pulling each other down. We need to stop thinking our opinion matters. You know, it doesn't. Your opinion matters to yourself. And so I don't care what you think about me. I don't care what you feel I'm doing wrong. If I'm not doing it to you, then that's it. I don't want to hear anything from you. Like, I am so selfish with myself. I selfishly love myself that I do not even allow any negativity around myself. I've lived it for years. And now I'm very selfish. I choose who I'm bringing closer. I choose who, you know I can be, you know, of benefit into their lives. Am I benefiting too? You know, am I getting something from them too? Are we balancing each other out? You know, if it means that I should just stay, no friends, well then it's cool. But then I am very selfish. My circle is my space. And it's us who open up this gate for everybody to walk in, do as they please. But it's time you take a stand and say, no, not around my space. You're gonna be what you are, I respect it, but not around my space. Around my space, this is what I want. I want positivity, I want courage, I want us to hold hands together. I want you to put me on speakerphone at midnight when you can't sleep and we're praying together. You know, be that friend that I can actually call on anytime. I know that if I wake you up at 2 a.m., I see Yone Balis, I'm like, okay, she definitely needs prayer. You know, something must be happening. But there'll be friends who will just ignore that call and be like, oh no, I'll get there in the morning. So you are not important enough. Mm-hmm. Your phone book, how long is it? The list of contacts you have on your phone book. How often do you even speak to those people? You know, the people that bring you down, why do you still have them on your speed dial? You know that if you had to call and say, this is what happened, they'll be like, yeah, but when's that? You know, without even having to judge and ask questions, I'll come to you. What do you need? I'm not going to say, but what did you think? It's already done. I cannot change that. What do you need me for at this point? I need you to hold my hand in this. You know, I need you to just give me advice on this and that. And that's it. And that's what I'll do and leave you. I will not ask you, why the hell did you do that? I will not ask you, weren't you smart enough to even think? But I'll be there and be that person that you need at that particular time. Do we have to hang out together all the time? No. We don't have to go out every weekend. And there's friends I haven't seen in years. But I know that when we see each other, then it's all going to be good, you know? There's no saying she's been quiet, so what the hell? You know? Because we know that we go through life. We've got lives to live, there's challenges and all of those things. If I don't call you, that means I'm still good at this point. But now when it comes to a close-knit family or a circle of friends, when Thandeka is suddenly quiet, just try and stand up, find out what's going on, because sometimes a person is quiet, not because they want to be quiet, but because they are being abused at that time, or they're going through that rough patch or whatever. But we need to be able to look at the signs and see the changes in their personality. You know, if someone is suddenly just, you know, off character, there must be something that's pushing them to act that way. And if you're that close friend, be that friend that says, it's fine, and listen, trust me enough. You know? So let's just pull each other up for once as women. You know, we will not bash the men in our lives. You know, they play a very good role. There is good men.
Yeah, true.
It's just that the whole image has been tainted by those few who do what they do. But there's definitely good men who were actually raised right. Some grew up with nothing, but they are able to be something to someone. They're not living on survival mode, you know, but they're living knowing that I've got an opportunity to love somebody, and that's what I'll do. I'll love, respect, and cherish them, which is something that you ladies should do yourselves. Love, cherish, and respect yourself, so that when it's not given, you'll see the difference. Because you also love and respect yourself. Now, if you don't receive that, you know that this is not it. You know? And so we're just going to say, there's good men out there. If you do identify a good one, then you keep that one. Right? That's it. Thank you.